error-generating content for the warning before dawn. Adi's footsteps were the only sound breaking the heavy silence of the compound, each one landing like a small defiance against the earth. The clay pot felt heavier than usual on her head, but she refused to adjust it, refused to show even the empty air that she felt the weight of her grandmother's words pressing down on her neck. At the junction, Kayamika was already waiting, her wrapper tied high and her voice carrying through the half-light like a market crier. Adis, your grandmother still vex about that stream? Adis forced a laugh, the sound too loud in the morning hush. She said I must not go after the first cockcrow. Said the water spirits will punish me for my pride. Kayamika waved her hand dismissively, her bangles clinking. Ah, village talk. Just old people story way damn you scare lazy children who no want wake early. They walked on, the path narrowing as the compound houses fell behind them, giving way to bush that pressed close on both sides. The trees grew thicker until the sky was just fragments of gray above them, and the morning birds that had been singing fell silent one by one. Adis noticed the quiet first, how the insects stopped their chorus, how even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Kayamika, you hear something? She whispered, though she did not know why she was whispering. Her friend laughed, but it was shorter this time, less certain. Nah, your grandmother way put fear for your head. Come, let us just fetch the water quick. But Adis' hands were trembling now as she reached up to steady the clay pot, and she could not stop her eyes from scanning the spaces between the trees. The path opened suddenly, and there it was of the stream, lying still and dark, its surface so smooth it looked like polished black stone. The water reflected nothing. Not the trees. Not the sky. Not their faces as they approached. Kayamika stopped first, her bravado crumbling like dry clay. Adis. The water no get shadow today. Adis wanted to turn back. Every bone in her body screamed at her to run, to listen to her grandmother's trembling voice from the night before. But pride is a stubborn thing, and she had laughed at the warning. How could she go back now and admit that the old woman was right? So she stepped forward, her feet carrying her toward the water's edge, the clay pot feeling like a stone on her head. Behind her, Kayamika had stopped breathing. And the forest had stopped breathing with her. The clay pot dipped into the water, and Adis saw her reflection ripple and settle. But when she moved her hand to scoop, the reflection did not move with her. She blinked. Once. Twice. The reflection in the dark water stayed perfectly still, watching her with eyes that were not her eyes. Then the reflection smiled. And the mouth had teeth that went too far back, row after row, like a crocodile's grin opening underwater. You were warned, child of pride, the voice said, rising from the water like cracked clay breaking apart. Adis tried to scramble backward, but her feet would not move. They were rooted to the wet stones, as if the stream itself had wrapped fingers around her ankles. The clay pot slipped from her shaking hands and shattered against the rocks, the sound sharp and final in the silent morning. The stream does not punish the humble, the voice continued, growing softer now, almost sorrowful. Only those who mock the warnings of their elders. Adis felt tears streaming down her face, but she could not wipe them, could not move at all. She understood why her grandmother's voice had trembled the night before. The grip on her ankles loosened slowly, like a hand releasing a lesson it wanted her to carry home. She stumbled backward, grabbing at roots and stones to pull herself up the bank. She ran. Through the silent forest, past the junction where Kayamika had mocked her, all the way to the compound gate, her breath ragged and her heart pounding against her ribs. At the door, her grandmother sat on the low wooden stool, eyes closed, fingers moving over her beads. She did not look surprised to see Adis. Adis fell to her knees on the red earth, not from exhaustion, but from the weight of understanding. She pressed her forehead to the ground. Her grandmother opened her eyes and said nothing. She simply reached out and placed her hand on Adis' head, a silent blessing that said, I told you. But I am still here. And in that silence, Adis learned what no classroom could teach her, that obedience is not weakness. It is the wisdom of those who have already walked the path you are about to take. If this story stirred something in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe for more stories that carry the weight of our ancestors.